We're here today on the 16th of May, talking with Mr. Mike Bradley and reminiscing about John Eberle and their time together at NRP and other instances. So I don't have any specific questions other than, when you guys overlapped. I learned the other day how he came to NRP from being a boat dealer, a boat salesman, and you can fill in some slots there.
Well, I first met John, it's been over 40 years now, in 1976. I was hired by Nashville Record Productions to be the editing, tape copy, and shipping guy. And I was not long out of college and very short on knowledge. But I'm still forever grateful for that job because it was my first real job in the music business. I had interned briefly at Sound Shop, but to say that I knew anything about record mastering would be a huge understatement. But I was never treated that way there, and especially by John. John somehow always made me feel like I was a vital part of everything that was going on there, even though I knew that I was, the green kid. He always took time to answer questions for me and share his knowledge, and for you that know John very well know his knowledge is quite extensive in many areas. I remember sometimes thinking that he seemed almost too intellectual to be in the music business. Maybe he was fooling us all, I don't know. But I know sometimes I'd ask John a question, and by the time he would answer it, he had gotten so technical and gone down so many avenues to get there that I sometimes thought I knew less about it than more about it when he was done. And I think he enjoyed doing that because it seemed to happen with great frequencies there. But I would watch John when I could in the mastering room, how meticulous he was and how caring he was with every project that he was doing, whether it be something for a major label or something for no label at all. He always seemed to work just as hard to try to achieve perfection. And I know that was a huge influence on me, that all things were equal. I left NRP after a short time to pursue my dreams as a recording engineer at Sound Shop Studios. But our paths would still cross over the years because some of our clients were also John's mastering clients, so we'd get to catch up from time to time then. And once after I had been probably not engineering maybe a couple of years, John called me to see if I would be interested in possibly mixing a couple of sides on a band that he was working with from the Bahamas called the Igniters. And I said, well, of course I would. I'd jump at the chance, and I was honored that he had confidence in me to do that at this point. And then he said, this is, by the way, an all-steel drum band. Well, I hadn't had too much encounter with steel drums growing up in western Kentucky and southern Indiana. But together, we had a good time doing it. We achieved what we needed to, and I was going to tell you, to this day, I've got it with me. This is after 40 years, my one and only steel drum album. And someday, I promise, I'm going to listen to it.
Well, while we're talking about steel drums here for a minute, for those that may have the opportunity to do that in the future, what were the particular oddities and things to watch out for recording steel drums?
I wasn't recording any, I was only mixing. But I remember the most difficult chore for me in that was trying to figure out where the sounds were coming from. There were so many different tones coming out there, and I would hear them, and I'd try to find it and isolate it, but it was extremely difficult for me to focus on, okay, these sounds are coming from this instrument, these are coming from this instrument, and I'd constantly have to ask John, okay, now who's really doing that part? Because they changed up a lot. It wasn't like one guy was doing the same rhythm part all the way through. It was a band. So it was a little bit difficult, but it was fun.
Had John served as the recording engineer on the project?
No, it was actually recorded at Criteria in Miami, and I don't know if he was there when it was recorded or not, but some of it was already finished, but he got the chore of finishing up the rest of it in Nashville. So that gave me a chance to do that, and so now I'm waiting for my next chance to do that.
Any interaction with him? Was he still at NRP when?
Yes, he was still at NRP then.
Did you have any interaction with him after he started Americana?
Only in dealing off tapes and stuff. When we had some clients, some from Bahamas even, that used John for mastering, that recorded at Sound Shop. So we would see each other during those times. But as far as actual working together on it, not much at that point.
Okay. Did you ever discuss with him his love of Edison cylinders and that technology?
Oh yeah, he was constantly, talking that even at an early time when I was at NRP there. Every time we'd sit in the break room, it would kind of turn to that stuff, and that's when I started thinking this guy needs to be in the classroom, not in the mastering room. But I was probably wrong about that because he achieved great things in mastering. I know sometimes when I would talk to John, I'd say, "So what have you been doing today?" And he said, "I've been working on a plow all day." It'd be something on the farm, that he was working on. It always amused me that he didn't mind crawling under a tractor and working on something too, and then going back in and doing record mastering.
Anything else you want to share? Or any word you want to, if John sees this?
Yep. I just want to say to John, congratulations on this well-deserved honor. But most of all, I just want to thank you for being my friend. Good luck.